Why you explain yourself to people who don't care. You send one more paragraph. Then another. You change the wording, soften the tone, and explain what you meant. Not because the person misunderstood you. Because some part of you believes that if you explain yourself clearly enough, they will finally care. Sometimes, you were speaking to someone who had already decided not to listen. A friend keeps crossing a boundary, and instead of stepping back, you explain the boundary again. You think, maybe I was not clear enough. And the more you explain, the less certain you feel. This pattern often begins when being misunderstood once had consequences. If another person sees me negatively, I must correct their view before I can feel safe. The brain experiences social rejection as a meaningful threat. When someone misjudges you, the brain may interpret it as more than an opinion. Then your nervous system tries to reduce uncertainty. Explanation becomes a control strategy. The hidden belief is, if they understand me, they will treat me fairly. With a caring person, clarification can repair the relationship. But with someone who is unwilling to empathize, explanation produces a different loop. You feel misunderstood. You explain. They remain dismissive. You explain more. The first step is to identify the purpose of the explanation. Before replying, ask, am I sharing information, or am I asking this person to validate my reality? Your experience does not become real only after another person approves it. The second step is to use one clear statement. Say what is true once. Then watch what the person does with it. Healthy people may need clarification, but they show curiosity. People who do not care often ignore the explanation and return to blame. Their response will reveal more than your 10th explanation ever could. The third step is to notice when the goalpost moves. You explain one concern, and they introduce another. This is called goalpost shifting. When it happens, name the pattern calmly. We are moving away from the original issue. A boundary is not a perfect argument. It is the point where the argument stops controlling your behavior. The fourth step is to tolerate the unfinished feeling. You may want to send one final message. Do not confuse that urge with a need to act. It is your nervous system seeking closure. The goal is to discover that discomfort can end without their agreement. The fifth step is to redirect explanation toward people who show care. Not everyone deserves the same level of access to your inner world. You do not have to become silent. You only need to stop offering depth to people committed to staying shallow. You can communicate clearly, but you cannot force care through precision. Some people will leave the conversation with the wrong story. That can hurt. But another person's certainty is not always evidence. You do not have to keep explaining your heart to someone who only listens for weaknesses. There is a quiet freedom in saying what is true once, and letting their response tell you whether the conversation is worth continuing.